Welcome. I will doing another one of these 60-minute level design challenges. This time I will likely use. Let's go to the screen here. I prepared a new list here, and marked off the one that we have used. And we got a new suggestion in chat from. I want to be sure I don't misremember this. Yeah, from Ico, and it was using a slide and like different openings and in walls and like jumping through them. I think of this game show. I think I saw a video from a long time ago where you had to fit into a hole. Maybe you can do something with that. I just noticed I will just close the door here. I'll be back in a second. And back. Okay. So yeah. It's the first suggestion from community, so I feel like I added this random feature to this list. I could select like a random thing, but as it's the first suggestion from community, I'll go with that for this time. So, oh, you can't see this list. This is a blunder on my side. I'll consider this for next time. But yeah, this one. And oh, I see now that you might not see my full screen, but anyway. New discoveries, cool. Hello, welcome, Sergio. Yeah, there's a lot of themes. I was on vacation for a week or so back, and I had this idea to make this challenge, and I just thought, okay, before I start this, yes, let's just write down a very simple list of things and see what I can come up with. So this is mostly of what I thought of that. Then it was more than I thought, but I think that half of these might not be good levels, and I ran into 2 of them so far, or like the one we did yesterday is I don't think the level that came out of the challenge was that great, but I think the ideas are interesting. I did 2 in once. I had a special weapon for rocket jumping, and I had the like bullets from enemies that has a really high pushback when you get hit, but no damage. So like you try to get hit by enemies to propel you, and I think those themes are interesting, especially the enemy thing. But I feel like you need more time than just an hour to figure out, because it's so different, and like test many things to find the most fun applications of it. So that level is working, but it's a little bit more finicky than I thought. And yeah, it's more chaotic than it should probably. And the mini golf one, like, yeah, it's not what the game is meant for, but it works. Yeah, I think you will, if you try the level once it's out, you will see what I say with it. But or check the video from yesterday. Especially, I think the gun here might have messed with the damage boost thing, because the gun got so chaotic. It's an auto fire, high AOE, high pushback thing. So you kind of fly around with the gun. And it was hard to make that work along with the enemies. It's a little bit uncontrollable and chaotic, more so than usual. But yeah, it was a fun experiment. And I think there are takeaways from even bad design ideas for a level. Like if you just stick with a bit and test things, you can still realize things. I feel like. And it's a challenge to make the best stuff out of a bad thing as well. So yeah, anyway, with that out of the way, let's go with a slide with walls and openings. So I will use this level, but I will just save as first. Like, this level is just a start point, a goal point, and a simple floor block, and one slipper block and one red block. That's all it is. Just because it's quicker to start that way. So yeah, I'll save as. This is 6, right? Let's check here. Open. Yeah, 5. I have 5, so 6. Saving as 06. Okay. So yeah, we're starting the challenge in 3, 2, 1, go. So first of all, take the slippery block down. Or maybe I should move everything up. Without the sky boxes and such. So I think this is that. Oh, I have one skybox thing with me, but let's go. So I feel like it's not, if you go down a lot, maybe it's best not to be right at the like 0 point in the start. I think there's no problem doing that, but it just feels better. So yeah, let's start from here. Let's make a slide. I to just test out the idea first. I just want to make like a harder challenge and see how fun we can make one of the harder challenges. And then once we have that harder one, I will go on to make easier versions and teach the mechanics. So yeah, let's find a good slope angle. And let's make it extra long just to have something to work with. I wonder if this will be a good angle. First loading is a bit slow, but I feel like this can be good. I'll try to jump against the slope and see how much I can break this. So, not a lot. Hello, oh, and welcome, sandwiches. Sounds good. What sandwiches? So the suggestion here was to use walls with openings in them. I feel like that is not punishing enough. So I'm thinking there are potential 3 other alternatives to walls. But sure, it doesn't need to be punishing as well. If we just use slippery walls, like you cannot run on them and skip stuff. And you will lose time if you hit the wall. So I guess that is really punishment enough, potentially. But will it be interesting, is the question. All speeds, yes. That's the goal. Like, it feels like to make the most of this, I want to find what makes this unique. Like, for example, I could just place mines here and there, and that would be a challenge as well. Sure, I could jump over mines and walls. What makes them different? I can't jump over walls. So I think I need to do something with that. But I can't just make it zigzag or something. I need to do different kind of things. But let's try like openings of 2 grids so far, and see how that feels. Just how easy is that to hit in speed? Oh, I noticed. Okay, I slowed down a bit there. I also noticed that I need to enable sound in the game. I think this editor likes to mute it. Yeah. Okay, it might be a bit too tricky. But on the other hand, if this lines up with the floors, I should be... But it seems a little bit too tight. Maybe I should make this texture a bit bigger. Let's undo these cuts and make the texture a bit bigger. Let's put it to this. Make it 1.3. And use that as the smallest hole. And then we can take the same size and apply this to the slide. But we should align the sideway. offsets. Or really, I should set this to 0, and then I should just scale the block to get the correct size to line up here, and then I should move the block. Oh, I just forgot did we add? No, it didn't add a hotkey to add accuracy to this in this old editor. So yeah, let's align this with this probably aligned enough. This is a feature we didn't have much in this old. So yeah, now let's cut hole in the wall and see if we can find a better size. This might be too big, but we don't have much choice here. I can't spend too much time just finding the whole size. But yeah, that is doable. So then let's see. Let's zigzag this a little bit. Oh, before there's something in this editor called a snap grid. If I press an object and press Shift A, I align the axis of the whole workspace in along that object's axis. So right now you see that when the blue arrow is pointing along the slide, so it's easy to just move things along the slide. Let's just try how it feels to do a zigzag like this. I should think of the ground here. But yeah, I think it might be doable. I don't need to make it more punishing, because it kind of feels punishing. And this is of course more tight than most of the challenges will be. Like when you lose so much speed from just hitting this, so I think it might be punishing enough. I'm NGO. No, what was that again? When you go to really fast, like oh, okay. It's yeah, potentially, but like I feel like this will be escalating. So I think at the end of the challenge, right at the end, when we make it as hard as possible, you might do this tight, and most of the other time you will have 2 openings. And I don't think you place 3 of these in a row. The biggest thing I'm thinking of right now is that this is not very pretty to look at, and you can't see what's beyond it. So I'm thinking, can we use another material here that will be we can be see-through. But I don't think there's any real good one. We never had this in the game, so I don't think we have any textures. Yeah, I was thinking one that is elevator as well. It's I think it will be a pain, because you lose air. Like when you're in the air, you can steer less in the sideways and everything. So it will be interesting to see how punishing that is. No, that's a horrible texture. What can we have here to use? This will take up more of the stream than like we could use this one, but I feel like it will be hard to see where the opening is. So then we have to add a frame around the opening, and it might be messy to see this with a lot of layers, like what it looks like when it's beyond this for next wall. So yeah. It's a little bit hard to decide. We can use a font. That's looking great. And the time is ticking. I don't have no idea what we use this for in the game, but maybe something like this would be useful. Like, it's pretty tight, but it should probably highlight the borders anyway. Oh, I selected the wrong one. Why? I scrolled it. No. Maybe I should just go with that one we had there. The level letter icons is get the good stuff. But yeah, I'll go back to the other one, and we'll use that and add borders. But it will be a bit finicky, so it will take more time to make the openings when I have to add the borders. Like, this tool is not really great for that kind of stuff. So what I'll probably do in that case... Where did it go? I should have checked their name. I should have checked their name. Oh, here they are. Okay. Okay, so let's use this on everything. And then add borders. Let's make an... Yeah. Yeah, I'm thinking of what I can do here to make this as good as possible to work with. Let's move this to the side and create presets of different walls with different openings. And then we can just place them in the level. Okay, so let's do this block, duplicate it, make it really thin. And if we want to be kind here, we can make that this square, so it's and then turn it 45 degrees. That way it will be kind of acting like a slope. But on the other hand, if you hit here, it will be a penalty, so maybe not. It would help bear misses, but it would hurt other. So, oh, I should change the color first. Let's go with something orange, maybe. Let's place it just in front. And then one at the top. And one at the bottom here. And then we need to... I should cut these. And I should make a new one for the bottom part. And then I should cut this. That looks funny, but I don't have time to the time is ticking. I don't have time to fix it up. Okay, so that's we have one two-way opening, and then we created one with that is I think taller, because it will be simpler to jump through. And then we can work on making one that is wider. Okay, so these are the... Let's create them above, so you have this 4x4 layout. Well, I need to shrink this anyway. And move this out. Oh, I duplicate them. Reflexes. Miss. I should not pay too much attention to make this perfect. I should. It's enough to give the information you need. Okay, maybe time is ticking. Yeah, it is. It really is. So yeah. And there's like not only opening size, the spacing between walls will also determine how difficult this will be. So, and then we can add energy packs, so we can add enemies to shoot, and we can add energy pickups, and we can add walls with multiple holes in them, and like there's so much to explore and so little time. So and now I'm talking, so the time is ticking anymore, even more. Like say, like you have one wall with a harder opening, like it's more difficult opening, but with energy pack in it, and then you have one with an easier where there's no energy pack, and then you have to decide. Well, if you're going for best time and is confident, you can. The choice is obvious, but okay. So let's use this and start designing a simple introduction. And of course, I use the biggest holes in the beginning. We can even have everyone right at the start. For when you get out onto the ramp. And then let's put one right at the edge, and then one at the opposite, just to the very basic we can do to begin with. Well, okay, I need to be sure when I place them on the ground, I move them a little bit further down into the ground, so it doesn't create any threshold. Oh. What I'm doing there is also I'm growing the selection. So I select these objects, and then I grow the selection, so it selects everything that intersects, and that. But I have to deselect the ground afterwards. So this is very easy. All right, and then we can also do very simple things like this. And we have a first challenge, and then just to be cute, let's add a energy pack. Around here. So you need to jump over the air part to hit it. It sounds it's easy. The thing is that to be able to use that, you need to start boosting earlier to actually have energy to refill. So I think that will be really hard to actually get use for. Suddenly added a big optional extra difficulty to this. So yeah, there we have the hard mode done. I probably can't do that, honestly. But I noticed that I fall off the start here every time, and I think we might want to do something about that. Yeah, but it's like it's added a lot of difficulty, especially when I have this short period to use it on. Like if you have more small opportunities, you can add a dash here and there, but holding constantly and having this tight, it is really hard. So let's smooth this up just a little bit, and then let's move all this up a little bit, and then we cut this to make it a ramp. That way I think we will not fall. We do. This is really tight to make this not fall. Will this work? Okay, it will. Okay. Okay, but it's doable. It's doable. It's a good start, I feel like. So let's add a new concept here. We're introducing a concept really fast here, but why? Okay. Let's do it on this side, actually. So this will be a place to potentially fetch more energy. I feel like if you can time this to do a quick wall jump. But like, okay, we should do this later when you actually have had time to use more energy. Because it's 2 energy packs in a row. That's yeah. Okay, so let's do another trick then with having to jump through an opening, and we can leave that wall for now there, but we'll do that extra a little bit later. So let's do this in the middle. The question is, I think you will fly so far on that slide before you actually lands. Let's try that. It is definitely not that hard. And okay, one more thing to test. What happens if I have horrible speed and comes here? Can I can probably double jump over. Whoa. Really? Because of my downward speed is so high, so if I hit the border here, I never seen that before on almost a wall surface. I think Super Cloudbuilt had better physics. Like this is sloping and slippery, and we have a logic in code that everything that is slippery counts as ground even when it's pretty vertical, just because to enable you to land on it to slide. If you wanted to use this as a ramp, like say we're falling from here, you might want to use this as slide. Oh, of course not working when I like that. So it thinks that you are hitting the ground at really high speed here. So yeah, it's dangerous. I think you will. If I go from here, I might die from that. Oh, I jumped to. Yeah, that's death. I like jumping. Okay, if I fall for a while. Well, that's unintended tension added. I feel like potentially. I don't know. Also, I had this other idea that is. I know it's horrible before I do it, but I need to show it. Let's say we add. Wait, my middle mouse button on this mouse is a little bit broken, so it doesn't take all the time. Let's say we add this here. This will be a fun challenge. So yeah, I go from here. Oh, okay. Like, anyway, I need to adjust it everywhere. See, if I... Is there invisible barrier that insta-kills me if I don't go over the purple areas? The orange areas. Because this is death triggers. So yeah, like you can do something like that, but it feels like that needs... If we do it like that, you need to introduce it in steps. But what I was thinking before is that you can, like, say you have pillars on the side as well that could hover in the air, like at a specific height. And then it will tell you that, hey, you need to jump through here. And then if you have one that is here, then you know that the opening is only where these overlap. So you need to jump through here only, or something like that. So you need perception and like thinking fast and control, and it will be horrible. But I want to try it sometime. yeah, it's cheap. That was what I live for. Let's do one of these. Sometimes horrible is good. Okay. Let's add one of the trickier ones. And then we can add this wall section behind that, because now you probably had time to use some energy potentially, if you're skilled. And now well, let's see here if I go from the start. Let's do one without energy first. Death. Okay. I know you need to jump pretty far in advance to. Oh, right. Okay, I can skip the wall stuff because you're going too fast. You can't wall run when you have too high speed down. You can't grip onto a wall. Like, you can slow down, but you cannot actually wall run. So I can skip this wall thing. But I can do another thing. I can do an optional ramp. But this will be hard to hit. Uh, I was thinking, can you do this? I have no idea. In high speed, it might not work at all, but. Okay, I jumped too late. Well, I can jump through there, but I think you will lose time from it. I don't think it will be beneficial. There'll probably be a sweet spot in your speed where it might be useful. So, and I don't have much time here. Half time already. So I will leave this here, and then it's up to people who speedrun this to determine if it's worth it or not. It is doable, and it's there as an optional thing. Then I'm thinking of you think it's possible to jump? But like the thing is that the physics in Cloudbuilt is a bit finicky, a little bit strange. That you actually accelerate faster on the slide than you do in the air. It's like that's fixed in Super Cloudbuilt, but on the original Cloudbuilt, that's how the physics works. So I'm not sure if you will actually like you might not gain from this, and it's a lot of air time. Yeah, it is fast inside the globe, but you're using actual gravity. Then the math is more correct. You're using actual gravity to go down slopes. Because we started adding loops and like half pipes and more stuff in Super. We made sure to make that more accurate. Also, it led to some unintuitive stuff in redeployment on Cloudbuilt. Like there is a 3 ramps section. You can't make that if you make 2 long jumps, because you fall in the air too long and don't hit the ramps. You need to hit the ramps early to accelerate on the ramps longer time, because that gives you more speed. And that's really strange. If you do it correctly, it will be intuitive, where falling almost above the ramp and sliding on the ramp will give you the same acceleration. But yeah. And because this is Cloudbuilt, not Super, I wonder what it will turn out. So in this case, actually, I think we want to do. I thought this was a little bit hard to see. Let's make this bigger to indicate that you need to go. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. But the first time, admit you took the ramp as well. Like that's the thing with building levels with a lot of skips in them. Like if you don't have the right mentality, you will think that players just skipping my challenges. But the thing is that most players actually play their challenges first time, and then they play it again, and they can find new enjoyment by skipping. And if you don't have that mentality, I think making levels with skips will be soul crushing. Okay, so let's add a shorter one where you need to jump now. Or let's make a short one where you just need to go through and then another jump. Let's put this right on the side here. Even maybe a little bit out in the air to tease. Oh, now I had a great little even be a little mean. Let's have a jump here. Let's color that side of the ramp yellow so it's easier to see. And then we will add a shorter with a bit of a jump to it. This might be really hard now. This challenge might have turned pretty hard, but it might be towards the end of the level. I don't know how long we can make this because checkpoints. I'm not sure how to make checkpoints. Let's try this from the start now. Dead. This is even more unforgiving than the actual game. Ah. Okay, yeah, it's doable. If you time that perfectly, I think you can land with good speed and have time to jump for that as well. I just got an idea for checkpoint. Let's do that. Okay, that's a little bit too much. Maybe hold back on that a little bit. Or actually, we can have a checkpoint right before this. So we can have normal ground. Let's copy that block from up there. And add a checkpoint. Let's set up the checkpoint. Yeah, the first time I pretty much always wanted to play the intended way because it's usually designed in a fun way to play. Thanks. And then you get to enjoy the exploring skips. I don't think checkpoint there is needed. It's not short enough. It's not short enough. I mean, it's not long enough. It's short enough, but I mean, this is a halfway point. And like a lot of things is instant death here, right? And if you make the second half even harder, then maybe a checkpoint is nice. It was my thought but I'll make sure to make the last part fun as well for you. In that case, trust me on that. Let's see here. I think I can enable this always show trajectory, so I can work with it. Well, that's high trajectory. And okay, it's also to the side. Well, that part I can change. Where is the select? Oh, that's tight. Let's see here. I think this will give a decent speed at the start of this. Let's see here. Let's just try if this works. And then we can have another level from there. Whoa! Okay, but the one annoying part potentially is that you have to do that part every time you hit the checkpoint. You have to fly up there. Well, let's balance that potentially later. But it's like placing a checkpoint right in the slide is possible. It's just that you will start from 0 speed. And maybe that is fine. It will be a big potential penalty. And like... let's see here. And then here, let's angle this. This is the time where I want my spline tool, but that will not be added. Like, sadly, working with blocks like in this way is really not ideal. And we need to be really careful not to intersect this red line. Okay, I'll not do it like this. I'll do... Let's put the checkpoint here instead. This took me way more time to set up a checkpoint. This is so much waste. That was not... Now I'll have much less time for the actual challenges, which is sad. But that's how it is now. Let's make one long one to the end of the potential level here. Oh, why are we higher up than the start? I didn't realize that was how far we... For the bounding sphere of the level, this will be a horrible level. Well... let's put in... Let's align these two. Musketeer. Yeah. That's the issue is as well, if we go too close to the start, we will get it will be too easy to skip. So maybe this is fine, but then why didn't I just put this higher up in the start to begin with? So maybe I should just do that. Maybe I should just do that. And I think like that more and more the more I think about this. That jump thing is maybe fun, but let's just move all this up just a lot. Oh, but I don't want to select the death trigger. Did I deselect all that? Okay, no. And then for this part and these things, we can snap this to here. And then I should increase the camera movement speed here. Okay, I think jumping onto this will give you a lot of speed very quickly, so you can come back to, and then I don't need to turn as much here. What little turn you can do. The only issue is now you might be able to jump down. So we might have to make this turn 90 degrees. Even then, they might be potential skips. Oh, yeah. So, that's the issue. That would be a reason to keep the jump. Maybe doing a little skip here is no harm. Maybe that's an okay challenge. Okay, so let's do some zigzagging with the tighter ones. Oh, and let's line this up for working in this area. I think that will be fine, and let's align this as a new starting. Okay, so the tighter ones. Let's do tighter jump, or let's do tight one just as a warm up again. We haven't done any tighter jumps yet, so that is definitely coming. Let's do 2 tights in a row, but with a bit of spacing. And now let's do a smaller jump. Just to mix things up a little bit, and then we do a tighter jump. Okay, so sorry. Oh, thanks for the follow. I didn't manage to read that name properly. It was a bit long. I'll check here. My stream manager has not updated. I wonder what's going on. But thanks for the follow. I wish my stream manager were working. Oh, Laser I'm far off, right? Sorry, but Lister. Sorry, I'm really sorry. I'm butchering the name. Is there a simple version of the name I can call you? Please let me know in chat. I'm sorry. I'm honestly horrible at names. And I saw now that I am short on time. Now it's 10 minutes left. Let's do a tight jump. It's strange how hard name this for me though. I kind of feel like I'm probably alone in having that much difficulty, but I'm glad to know I'm not the only one. But like, yeah, reading out loud as well. Like, text-heavy games on stream is horrible for me. Let's do some very. Okay, so now we're running towards the end here. So let's do some tight but broad, like a very short time to react. This is punishing people with higher speed, and it's easy for people lower speed. So this is like regulating them a little bit, like making them a little bit more even for the final challenge. The issue is I need to execute this perfectly at a high speed just to see that it's actually possible. But I have a dev sheet, so I'll use that. So now the game will go in slow motion. More slow motion. The particles is acting up in slow motion though, but this is easy. Let's see. We need to increase the speed. This is not okay. Okay, it is possible. Okay, that's all I need to know. You didn't need to say the last part. That makes it sound bad. It's possible. In slow-mo. Okay. So, okay, let's. It's time to do open up a little bit space and do the hardest jump so far. A little big jump. Little big jump. That is very tight in height. So if you jump too high or jump to the sides, it's death. And I kind of want to add something where you can pick up energy here as a final thing. I have a few minutes. Okay, and let's add energy. Inner pack, okay. Hey, why is my double clicking? And let's put a few of them. And let's extend this. And that's the opportunity you have to use the energy, and we can repeat this section, like this kind of section again, but a little bit kinder this time. It's just to like have a final section to reward people who have leftover energy and dare to spend them. Spend it. Okay, I need to fix the ramp there. This is... Hey, you spent hours with this girl. What? You mean... Oh yeah, right, building pretty ones. I spent 1 hour on the whole level. Yeah, like, but his super Cloudbuilt levels are total, like, they are awesome in every way, and they have really cool ramps as well. Like, I am amazed how smooth he made those. He must have spent so much time on making those smooth, and like the spiral stuff. I'm working on working on a tool to make that really easy to do, but I'll do that for. Not this time. I'll do it at some point in a new editor for a new game potentially. it's a bit too much work to do now for this game, especially because we could only support blocks. If we could support triangle mesh collision in this game, it would have been so much easier to do. We do support triangle collision in the newest version of the engine, but Super Cloudbuilt will not be built with that in mind still, so I'm not sure we will use that in the remaster. Oh, I was way off with this. Okay, and now just as a reference point, I have 2 minutes, about 2 minutes to make something cool to land on here. Let's make this into mini challenge to see how far you can travel after the end credits. Or like the ending of the level. Let's highlight intervals. Wait, let's set up the snap grid to snap to 200 units. Is that too far? Or too short? Let's see here. I'll start here as the first one. Oh, I should reset this. Okay. Oh, 200. Oh, I reset it. Okay, it disappeared. Oh, and I need. Okay, let's start this as the first one. I think this might be a bit too close because it will be hard to count them. Oh, I'll read up chat soon because I have less than 1 minute left. So okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's make this wider. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wider. And then let's just add a bit of extra ground beyond that, in case anyone is really good at this. Okay, so there's not much time left, but I will try this last section one more time. And then we might be done. Oh, I forgot. I need to add an ending camera or I will not be able to see Where I fly. Let's add here. Then let's add one here so you see it on this distance. And then something like this. It's too slow. And I need to set the aim point of the cameras. I don't think I worked at any level with this big distances in it before. This is... oh. Where did it go? This green color is not easy against this background. Okay, and let's just put a higher speed here. Let's put this 900. Oh, and that's that's over. But I feel like now I'm just doing the outro, so I think I can still say I claim I beat the challenge, finished level in 1 hour. But now let's. Oh right, I'm in the outro mode, so let's try this last part just to see that it's not a huge disappointment. And then I'll read up chat. Sorry. I don't see the opening. Okay. Maybe I should make... I'll probably do the tweak for that. It'll make those orange parts luminescent. Oh. I probably should make them luminescent. Because that's... or I should just add light sources. Add light, point light. Let's make that orange light actually, so it's even clearer. I think the other ones in the other slide was better because of the view angle compared to the sun. This one was a lot harder to see. I just feel like that's not the intended challenge here. Okay, one more time. Without slow motion. Oh, I misread. Okay, let's not hit the first one here. Oh, I did. Well, that one needs to be jumped over earlier. Oh right, the checkpoint, that was a good find. The checkpoint's respawn position was not set up. Okay, so I'll start from the beginning of the level and then play once to the end, and then I'll call it for today, I think. And it's turned out better than I was initially thinking it would. Oh, I have to go to the... Well, I can probably save... I can... Come on. But you know what? This might look like a bad run, but I actually think I will get a world record. That might be too narrow for without energy. I think this will be a world record run. I jumped too early there, right? I think that's the issue. This is way tighter. Is that too late? I did that part before. Does it count if my corpse hit the goal? I might make that a little bit lower. Like balance is the issue. Like if I change balance now, I didn't make the challenge anymore, right? Because then I editing the level after the timer. But let's just make them a little tiny bit easier. You think that we can have enough challenge on this level without that? And the last really tall one I definitely make a bit easier. I want to try the half pipe thingy, the side ramp. So yeah, let's check up the chat here. I need to go beat that level actually. You mean the 4? Or you mean the Super Cloudbuilt levels? Okay, yeah, it's a Super Cloudbuilt level after. Drop is dangerous words. No, I don't remember what I said. I don't think I have said anything dangerous. My Metroidvania level is called the hospital. Oh, I'm glad you made the hospital. The hospital level. Okay, all right, yeah. I never felt good about its normal maze level, so I never released them. Oh, but I think you should. Like, all levels don't need to be masterpieces, and it's still interesting. The biggest thing I'm missing, and actually thing I missed in Mario Maker as well, is that it would be so fun to make a level and then see replays from players who played those, because the most rewarding part to me with like creating a level is seeing players' experience with it, and in games like Mario Maker, I feel like that would be the hook that made people make more levels as well. But I don't think there are games like that, right? Where that lets you create and share levels very easily and then can watch replays. Even if it wasn't everyone, like just saving, like saving the 10 first and then saving once in every 10 other randomly. Yeah. Oh, hello, Netherways, and welcome. You're coming here right as we are. I'm about to wrap up, but I need to finish this level once before I wrap up for the day. World record plans my face. Right. As long as I finish, it's a world record. Another indie game I really like had that. Okay, that's nice. It's like the only concern I have for Steam with the replay stuff is that you need to use every player's local cloud storage to store the replays, and every player has 1 gigabyte available. And normally, if there's really small and fast levels, especially in 2D, you can store so many replays. But when you have more advanced inputs and like high tick rates and 3D, the replays will get bigger even with like compression. So I worry how many replays you can actually fill on that 1 gigabyte. Probably a few hundred, really. But if you are a player that plays really slow and like take many minutes per level, it might be a lot fewer. And then you need to make a system to manage, okay, well, what happens when data is full? Okay, make system to managing. Do you remove replays in a pattern then, or like just have a list of hundreds of replays for the player to remove themselves, or do you say like, hey, remove all the old ones that is not my top run on that level, or I don't know. Actually, yeah, that's one thing I'm considering for the remaster right now. Like what best way to do with the data when or if we run into the limit. Yeah, but even just player input, but like 60 times a second, you're still then saving the mouse exact. Like the mouse, you should not save as input. You should save it as camera rotations. I'm pretty sure, because there will be some inaccuracies with like adding that over time with the mouse input. And actually, mouse input is usually separate from frame rate. Unlike all other inputs in the game. So I would say you store the camera rotation as a quaternion. That's the cheapest way for... or no, you can save it as 2 floats really, because it's a more limited in Euler angles relative to the player. And then you store just the inputs for the player movement. But it's like, it's still... 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, something. Yeah, okay, and you can store them in a bit field. So yeah, you can reduce it, and then 60 times per second, at least, potentially higher, because the Super Cloudbuilt does read input faster, but it simulates the game logic steps in every 60 seconds. So like for not introducing drifting and stuff like that, I would like to store the absolute location of the player, and then correct for that like over time to make sure we are maintaining the position from the replays. Is the idea, but yeah, we'll see. And delta compression, like, don't store any input frames that are exactly the same as the one before. So if you stand still or something like that, it will remove that data. This is a whole other topic now. I should play the level once more time. But yeah, I'm considering stuff for the replays, and I want to still have a backup plan for what happens when you run out of the data. If anyone has suggestions on what to do or handle when a player has potentially hundreds of replays and run out of data, that would be very welcome. So anyway, let's go for the world record. Oh. I was actually lined up really well there initially. Oh. Hit the side of oh, okay. Oh, no. That was going really good. Not really good. I hit this wall, but it was going pretty good. Okay, that one was at least beautiful. But I'm not using any boost either. That wasn't great, but... No! That was... The friction was way higher than I remembered. This would have been so great at Super Cloudbuilt, but the Cloudbuilt you lose so much speed. No! No! Disappointment! Okay, I have a solution here. Oh, thanks for subscription, Davida Silva. It's I have very few subscribers. That's very thanks a lot. Oh, and I missed the first chat message as well from One Trick Wolf. Hey, just found this channel. Huge fan of Cloudbuilt. Thanks. Love the stream. It's insane to me that there's barely any 3D platforms these days, and I'm glad someone is still working with them. Yeah, I'm glad you feel that way. Like it's there it seems like there are coming more platformers, but I feel like there's also a big difference between what different platformers, what like the style of the different platformers, and I still don't know many games that it's really attempting what I would like to feel like Cloudbuilt is doing, or what we aim to do with it. But I'm glad that it feels like there is coming more 3D platformers. And thanks for comment on the warm words. And very nice work. Yeah, thanks. Like the thing with this stream is like it's using the old version of the engine because this is the old game. Like so many things I kind of forgot how the quirks they were in the old game that we fixed for Super. So it's interesting to come back to this, but it's disappointing sometimes like this. I'm happy to see what's said in the chat. Thanks a lot. Me and Bag is still around, and we hope to at least first of all release a good remaster with Super Cloudbuilt, and then we'll see what we can do in the future. But it's hard to stand out with platformers. I think marketing is one of the hardest part with platformers, especially if you're making challenging platformers, and because streamers can't talk much when they're just playing a really challenging platformer for the first time. And nowadays streamers and like YouTubers and such is a big part of marketing, sadly. Yeah, like that's how it's turned into, and it's nice sometimes, but I think some genres of games is harder to make because of it. Okay, let's see here. Let's ignore the energy pickups and let's just go for... No! Just curious, are anyone in the chat here developers? I don't think I've seen some of you in the Cloudbuilt community much, so I don't know you before. Sorry if you actually are there and I haven't seen you. That's really bad. Okay, I feel like I just got another disappointment. It seems like we... Okay, so in this game it seems like we put the player into a specific state when you enter the goal, just to play the goal animation. I think in Super what we are doing is that we are checking your state if you're close to an idle state or running state, and then we put you into that. So if you were in the slide, you would actually continue, but not in this game. Thanks for. I'm happy to hear that you feel that the Cloudbuilt tent is filling a special space. In those areas, you have a certain very specific influencers. Oh yeah, certain. But like, are there any like big influencers that are into this kind of games? It's hard. I have not found much, really. But it's like a hardcore. It's like if you look in hardcore shooters or like other stuff like that, or hardcore 2D platforms, I feel like it suddenly becomes very different. Alexis, thanks. You're making me feel it even more. Yeah, that's. I don't know. This whole level got a whole lot worse suddenly because I couldn't be. Or I actually okay. I know what to do. Let's put it in the air after the ramp. I'm very certain that that will work. Let's go. Let's go. I'll use dash from here just to see if it's working. Right, did I mention before that we actually had strange physics in the original Cloudbuilt compared to Super, where we actually made very like physics-based physics. The acceleration in slopes are higher than falling, I mentioned before, and that also means that you're very bad at sliding upwards. Because we created half pipes and all kind of loops and stuff in Super, we fixed all that. But in this old game, I remembered now, that's not fixed. If we make a really short ramp, we might clear it, but this is showcasing the quirky parts of this game. Like the thing is, in most games, and why it's still disappointing. Wow. In most games, like, you don't develop things that far outside of what you're actually using in the games. And honestly, we didn't use that much slides in the original Cloudbuilt at all. Like, there were a few levels with slides, but it wasn't that much of them. So the slide mechanics are actually not that developed in this. When we started working on Super, I had this playground level. I kind of want to open it up now. I want to open that. Let's see here. I had this playground level for when I was designing the mechanics of the player, and that had loops and like everything. And I were testing a lot more scenarios due to that playground level, and that's a real takeaway. Like, Cloud was developed so much during. What's called it was developed as like the mechanics and the programming was developed a lot during the when we were actually doing everything at the same time, so we didn't have time to just make a level to play around in. So like, this feels very different. Something's up with the frame rate, I feel like, but like in this case, it's night and day when it comes to ramps. And I remember one case I made sure it was working here, like that you could really slide up into the roofs, and it should be possible to go down and actually go up all the way if you use boost and so on. And that's like very different from. The interesting part is that it's not as bad in for me. Wow, I see the stream. That is horrible. What's up with that? That is not at all what I'm seeing. It's not great for me. It feels like I'm missing a frame here and there, but the stream is really lagging. Wow. But it says no dropped frame, so it's not the processing that's failing. It's something else. Wow. That's interesting work. I'll see what my PC is doing. The CPU is barely used. The GPU is maxed out. So that's the thing. Like we, because this is not running capped. Maybe I should cap the frame rate. Oh, now I'm going to the stuff that is not repaired for remaster yet. Well, this is worse than I remembered for. So yeah, this is not repaired for the remaster yet. So I can't change the frame rate cap. I have a 2060. RTX 2060, but it's like I think I'm running. This is at an I think that apparently is uneven for me, but I think I am hitting like close to 100 frames per second, still on like 4K, because this is not scaled in any way. This is native 4K image, but it's like a bit uneven frame pace, so something is going on. I think the GPU is not liking streaming this at the same time. Whoa, 3080, yeah. I am looking at a specific 3080 because I have a mini ITX build, so it's like my PC is A4 paper in size, kind of, you know, from the side, and it's a Dan A4 case. So what kind of GPU I can fit in there is a little bit limited. So I need to look at something that is actually pretty close to a 2-slot card, and the ones I'm looking at is just too expensive right now. I have to wait, but I plan to get a good card. But at the same time, I want to have a PC with this kind of spec because I want 2060 to be able to run this at 4K 120 FPS in most levels, with most effects on still, but then we can tune things up. Like, we don't have the screen space reflections and some other like other graphical features on here right now, but yeah, if screen space reflections can be pretty expensive, so if that and some lighting things is not on high settings, I want a 2060 to still run this game at very high frame rates. Is the goal, at least. So I want lower end card. Sorry, but yeah, I should close this down so my GPU can rest. Oh right, I should open that again. I think I have a frame rate graph I can turn on. I forgot that. It's a rudimentary one, but okay, so yeah, it says that I'm hitting in the editor that is a bit slow. I'm running this at over 100 FPS. So yeah, this is it says that it's running at 110 FPS right now, but it doesn't look like 110 on the stream. So just know that this is not as bad as it looks. Oh, but it's jumping up and down a lot here. I can see it blinking red sometimes. I think that is when it go down below 60. Whoa, that is really uneven. I think it can go into the 20s at times here. That is. Don't I have a graph? I'm very sure I have a graph somewhere, but I don't. Can I? And why is not the debug after all? Okay. I broke the 2D renderer a bit because of the GUI stuff for Super is a bit hacky. So a lot of the stuff that was to support Super again in the latest version of the engine, I had to hack around a bit in the 2D renderer, and that broke some of the debug drawing of sprites. So I can't use the debug menus to alter things either. So yeah, I will stream Super Remaster development at some point, but it's not now. It's first of all, I need to fix some things in the code. I'm not sure if I can show some parts to do past contracts. But yeah, anyway, now I'm rambling. I think my wife is waiting, so I think I should round off the stream. But yeah, it's fun hanging out, talking, and thanks for stopping by. I hope to stream again tomorrow. I should be. Then I'll take a break for the weekend, and I'll do another challenge tomorrow. Yeah, thanks for stopping by. Have a nice one. Bye.